Yeah, so a very good afternoon, one and all present here. So, today we will be starting with a new experiment of computer network laboratory using the packet tracer. So, in the last class, we already discussed about the experiment, and we have a little knowledge about that experiment at that point of time. So, I requested you to kindly download the packet tracer software, and you can easily implement the experiments. Okay, and apart from that, in today's class you can text me through the WhatsApp number so that I can answer your query. Okay, so let's start with today's experiment. So few smaller experiments I have enlisted today, so let's do it one by one. Okay, so in the previous class I told you about the basics of packet tracer, and here you have seen that what is the workspace. This is the workspace here, and here is the device panel. You can drag and drop various devices, like you can use different end devices, or you can use the other kind of devices, right, like router, switches, or any other devices, gateway, to complete a perfect network. Okay, and how the packets will be passing from one end to another end, that we have not seen in the last class, that we will be observing today. Okay, so let's start with a small network and how to level the IP address, that I will show today. Okay, firstly, so let's come to the packet tracer. You can just click the packet tracer software and this panel will come up. So as you can see here, that I am using only two end devices. Lots of things are there, and you can use any two end devices like PC0 and PC1, okay, for completing a simple network. I am not using right now any kind of router or switches, just simple two devices I am using. Okay, so this is the end device. From there I have picked up the thing. Now for the connection part, because in the last class we have seen that in the connection part lots of types of cables are there, like it can be the console, or it can be the copper straight through cable, or copper crossover, or fiber optic, or different types of coaxial cables are there. Okay, so you can change the different types of cable as per your choice, and you can connect the network. Now in this regard, I will tell you that if I use this one, this is known as the, you can see here, if I touch here, you can see the name will come up here. Okay, so if I use this one, this is the, it is not a particular type of wire or connection you are using. If you use this one, it will be automatically shift the different types of connection as per the requirement. Okay, so now if you connect this with this, the connection will be there. Okay, now the thing is that when you are using a connection like this, okay, when you are using a connection like this, one second, whether it is connected or not, that you need to check. But prior to that, you have to see whether you have given the IP address or not. So where you have to give the IP address, from there, from the PC, there are lots of tabs available. So here you can find that in the desktop you have this different configurations or different applications. So you can use the IP configuration tab to give the proper IP. So if you are using any class C IP, so suppose I am using class C, you can use class A, class B, whatever the type of IP you want to select. So I am using 192.168 dot suppose 12.2. It is my choice, and if you click here, automatically the subnet mask will come. So what will be the subnet mask if it is in the C? So 255.255.255.0 will be the subnet mask. So if you click here, automatically the subnet mask will come up, and you have already connected the, or you have assigned the IP. Now further I will check that one. And next, if you give, just connect here and give, go to the desktop, go to the IP configuration, and you give another IP of class C, 192.168. You can take another IP. It was 12.3 because previously it was 12.2. So it will be like that. We are not using any gateway or default gateway address because we are not using any router at this point of time. So I am just closing this window. Okay. So assigning of IP is done, but leveling is important because the PPT we use how to level the IP for the visual representation. Okay. So how to level, you can see here, this is one tab, place note. Okay. So if you click here and if you click on here, you can write the IP, because when you are connecting multiple devices, so IP, whatever IP you are assigning, for sake of your remembering, you can add it here. So the first one was 192.168.12.2, and second you click here 192.168.12.3. okay, these two IPs. You press escape because if you click everywhere, this box will come. So you can press escape so that it will not come. Okay. Now the second thing is that you have to check whether, in the last class I was telling you what is the command to check whether whatever IP you have given, that is assigned or not. You need to check it. So how will you check it? You can see here in the next configuration. So I have given in all these snapshots in this presentation. So here I have given 12.2 for the first PC, and for the second PC it is 12.3. and next thing, you have to check whether the IP you have given is there or not. So you can check here. How will you? Go to the PC 0. So for every PC you can check. After going to the desktop mode, you go to the command prompt, and in the command prompt you can write ipconfig. I hope you have seen this one because in the last class also I have told you this one. So whether the assigned IP is there or not, it is going to show. Okay, what you have given, 192.168.12.2 will be there. I think it will be there. So it is showing 192.168.12.2. okay, so there is no issue in this case. Now if it is like this, another thing you can check, okay, that is nothing but the MAC address. So this is the IP address and MAC address is the physical address. So what is the command to check what is the MAC address? So for having or to check the MAC address of the corresponding devices, there is another command that you can see here. I will be typing here. So it is ipconfig space /all. okay, it will go, or it will show the detail of the physical address or the MAC address. okay, so to check the IP address we will be using ipconfig, and to check the physical address we will be using this one, that is ipconfig space /all. So this will show you This is the physical address of which PC. This is for PC 0. Similarly, if you check for PC 1, okay, if you check for PC 1, I am going to command prompt again, ipconfig. It should give you 192.168.12.3. that is the thing it will show, right? So ipconfig, if I click here, so this is the second PC, that's why the IP address is this, okay. And definitely the MAC address will always be the different portion because it is the physical address. So these two are the two different devices. So to check the MAC address, ipconfig space /all. Okay, so this will go give you the physical address or the MAC address of the second PC that are connected. Okay, so this will be the thing we can check the thing from, so we can close it. Okay, now how to delete this one? You will just simply click this one and you just cross it, and yes, so everything. So if this cross sign comes, you press escape and it is gone. So what we have seen here, let's have a look on this. So we have assigned the two IPs of two PCs that we have allocated in the workspace, and then we have used the ipconfig command along with the ipconfig space /all command to check the IP address as well as the MAC address of the devices that we use there. Okay, this is for PC1 and PC2. Now the second thing, because we have not completed the connection of hub and the switch in the last class. Actually we have not used the hub in the workspace, so let's come to the concept of hub. Okay, so when you are using some hub connection, so what is hub? I hope many of you can tell me that what is hub connection or what is hub. So if you think that there are different devices in between, or multiple computers or multiple end devices, that can be either hub or router or gateway, like that. So hubs are basically the layer 1 devices. So if I just write it here, it is basically you must, so it is the layer 1 device. Okay, layer 1 device. Okay, so when you are using hub, it is a layer 1 device. So what happens, so when you are sending some packet, okay, so when you are sending some packet from this PC to the hub, because this PC is connected with this, so when you are sending some packet from this PC to this port, these are called the ports. Okay, how many ports are there? It is shown here. So whatever the incoming packet the hub is receiving, it is going to broadcast to all other ports. I am repeating once again, it is going to broadcast to all other ports. Okay, so if it is like that, so whatever this PC is going to send, all other PCs which are connected to the different ports of the hub are supposed to get the same data packet. Okay, okay, so now how we will do a simple hub connection, we will be checking that one. So how to do? So connection of hub to form a LAN, a simple connection, that we have to do what? So different or 3 or 4 devices and devices we will use. We can use the copper straight through cable, or we can use the automated type of cable, which will be using ultimately the copper straight through cable. We will be assigning the IP of the individual PC. We will level of all the IPs, and then we will use the ping command, and the thing is that we have not seen this portion. It's the simulation mode and the real time mode. This we have not seen in the last class. So when we are observing this one, simulation mode and the real time mode, we will see that how it comes. So let's check from the practical point of view. So let's do the connection and we can check here. We can do which type of connection. This is a simple connection. I have used a simple hub and there are suppose 6 ports. So I have connected 6 PCs here, and using the connection you can see this portion you have not seen previously. Okay, so from where this portion is coming I will be telling you. Okay, so leveling is the first thing that you have seen here today. Apart from that we will be using another part. Okay, so you can go to the workspace again, go to the network devices, and here there are lots of router switch. I am concentrating on hub. Okay, so if you see hub here, we can use a generic type of hub here. You can drag and drop, and then you go to end devices. You can use some generic PC, simple connection mode you can connect. Now we are using some connections like the automatically choose connection type, and we are just connecting this one with this, or connecting this one with this, or connecting this one with this. Okay, so if you connect like this, you have to check whether the data is moving or not. So prior to that I have to give some IP values to the devices. Okay, so for the first PC you can check for the first PC which value I will be giving. That is up to my choice. You can give the values and you can also write that in the level portion here. So suppose I am giving a IP value of class C 192.168 dot suppose 13.2. so it will take the subnet mask automatically, desktop, then IP configuration 192.168.13.3. okay, next IP configuration 192.168.13.4. so all the three subnet masks that we used all are 255.255.255.0. Now you can see here in this panel, so there is one arrow here. Okay, if you click on this arrow, nothing is like that. Okay, so we have used a thing like this previously. Now there are two modes. One is the real time mode. Real time mode, when you are using the IP config or like that command or ping command to whether actually the data packets, suppose 32 bytes, are moving or not, that you can check there. Okay, but when you are using the simulation, so there is another panel, that is the simulation mode. So this is a real time mode and this is the simulation mode. So you can click this arrow and something will come like fire last status source. What is the source? Like PC0 to PC1 or PC2 to PC3. All these, PC2 will be the source, PC3 will be the destination. If I want to send some packet from PC2 to PC3 like that, what is the time, the type like ICMP or ARP, whatever is the type, and later the other fields will be there. Okay, So how will you collect the data packet? Data packet is known as the PDU. Okay, PDU, the term is here also, you can see the PDU. So PDU is the simple PDU. Here you can click and you can add a simple PDU here. So if you just click here and here, okay, you just click here, it is successful. It is successful. Okay. So there is one thing, you can simply click here and here, it is successful. So if the data is going to be transmitted, then it will show successful. Okay. Now in the simulation, I can delete here. In the simulation mode, actually we can see, we can just go to the direct one and then come here in progress. So if I just capture and forward, so this packet will go to the hub, then it will be propagated to 3 and 4. So if I do the capture and forward, because it is not successful now, so first this packet will go to hub 0. If I do capture and forward, you can see how it is moving from PC2 to hub 0. Then if I again do the capture, this will come to both the ends. Many times it fails, but if I do, see all the data packets. So in case of hub, it is broadcasting. So one PC, if it is sending some data, it is broadcasting to all other PCs. Okay, and again the acknowledgement will come. So this is the acknowledgement that is coming, and this is, if you, so this is fast. And so there is some problem in PC4, but for PC2 it is fine. So there is no issues. From PC2 to PC3 it is successful, but PC2 to PC4 it is not successful. Okay, so you can clear this panel. This is the successful or failed panel using the delete command. So if you click delete, it will get deleted automatically. So in the simulation mode, we have gone to the simulation mode. We have taken one PDU from here, we have clicked here and suppose 3. Okay, that is the intended one. Then you use the capture forward, first step, then it will be it will go to the PC3 and PC4, but PC4 is not the intended destination. So acknowledgement will come from PC3 and then up to PC2. So PC3 has obtained, and that is the status is successful. Okay, so this is the way actually you can simply do this type of hub connection. And if you want to check, that is what is there inside the hub, you can do that one also. Okay, so I can delete this one and I can come to the real-time mode. Now what is there in the hub and how many ports are there, that we have to see. See, if you click on the hub, you can see physical, config and attribute. I'm just maximizing this, and if you just click zoom in, this portion will come out. So there are basically 6 ports of this hub connection. Okay, and you can switch on and off by putting it off. Okay, it is green means the hub is on. Okay, you can switch it off when we will be using the router connection. You will see that we can switch off it and we can again do some connection, or we can add the serial DCN port and all these stuffs are there. So for serial connectivity between router to router, that we can do by, so at that point time we have to switch off this type of hub or router. Okay, so it's not hub, it will be router. We have to switch off the router, then we have to use the serial DCN like that, and we will be using. So this is, so the physical, you can maximize this the view of the back side of the hub and how many ports are there, whether it is on or off, you can see. So to get the original size, it will be like that. So I am just crossing this portion. Okay, now, so this I have already documented here. So this is the hub connection instead of 3, because when I was testing it, I used all the PCs, and that is 6 ports are there, so you can use 6 PCs, and from the 6 PC itself you can find that there will be actually 6 connections that can come out. Okay, and you can check whether from PC2 to PC7 or 6 whether the data packets are going or not, that you can obviously check. So in today's assignment the list will be more, and the time duration will be more also. Okay, because whatever we have done in the last class, I have not given any assignment, so in today's class the assignment will be given to you. Okay, so that assignment along with the small assignment, 4 assignments that we will be doing. So the simple how to give the leveling, how to assigning the IP addresses, how to capture and forward, this is the how, what is the real time view, what is the simulation view, whether it is coming successful or not, that all the things you need to mention today in different. So total 5 assignment you have to submit the simple model, because many of you have submitted the previous assignment. So those who have not submitted, they have to submit the yesterday's assignment also. So this is not a too much complicated assignment, but it's a simple assignment that you are using. Okay, now the next connection is basically the how to use a switch to form a LAN. So definitely if I just now one thing I like to mention here, that when you are using this one, you can simply save this one. How can you save? So if you want to cross it, it will be like yes, I am writing, I want to save. So suppose I am writing, this is suppose experiment exp2. Okay, experiment 2. So the first one is between connection between two end devices, and this is the connection between 3 end devices using a hub. So this will I'm just saving in the desktop. So exp2 I should give ecaps. So like that only you can add all these things. So if I check here, you can find so if I check here, you can find one exp2 file has been generated, and if you click on the exp2, it will be the file which you have set saved will open up. So if I click exp2 here, so that file will, just wait for 2 minutes. Okay, it will open up. Now how to connect the switches to form a LAN, that we will study. So everything will be as it is, like you are connecting in devices. Okay, you are assigning IPs to PC and you are leveling all the PC, and you are also simulating as well as you are pinging. So one thing I missed out here, so 2 windows have opened up. So this is the file name, you can see here exp2 dot packet tracer. So dot pkt is the file name extension. Now if I want to check whether the thing is happening or not, how will you check that one? You can click here PC2, and if you want to ping here, okay, you go to the desktop, go to command prompt, you can check whether you are getting the response from the PC3 or PC4, like that. So you can ping here, ping 192.168.13.3. I hope the IP address is not wrong. So it is getting the reply. Okay, so from PC2 I am pinging PC3. So this is the IP address of PC3 I am pinging using in the network, and I am getting the replies. So 32 byte of data we are receiving. Okay, and these are the different type of reception. Okay, and the number of packets sent 4, and we have also 4 packets we have received, and there is no loss. So all the thing is working fine in this case. Okay, there is no issue. So in the real mode also, so in the real time mode also, we can ping and we can check whether it is happening or not. Okay, now, so if I want to just do another new experiment for this, so already I have saved it. So I am using another experiment for creation of the switch. Now for creation of the switch, you can check here. So I have enlisted one simple difference between the hub and switch. You can think that what is the basic fundamental difference. This is I have taken from the website. So you can check here that it is the physical layer device, where it is the data link layer device. Okay, so this is the layer 1 and this is the layer 2 device. So this discrimination is very important. But hub, we have seen 6 port also, it is not always correct, so it may have greater ports than 4. Nowadays the specifications are changing, and switch we will be using here all of are the 24 port switches. Okay, and it's a broadcast type of transmission, because you have seen when you are getting the data in one port, that data is going to be broadcasted to all other ports that are connected with that. Okay, and switch is the unicast that we will, or multicast. So depending on the type of usage, it will be unicast or multicast or broadcast, how you are using. So this is the typical configuration of, or the typical block diagram of the switch, and these are the ports actually. So when you are using any when you are sending any data packet from the sender terminal to the receiver terminal, suppose you are sending some data packet through this port. So suppose this is the packet you are sending, the packet you are sending from this portion. Okay, and it should propagate from this to receiver. Okay, so it is not going to be broadcasted to all other ports. That is the specialty of the switch. Now how it is going to be propagated, that we can configure using this. So actually this concept is important when you are using the concept of the port number. So suppose this is port number 1 and this is the port number 19 we are using. So each of the port must have one MAC address. Okay, so each of the port must have one MAC address, and this device is connected with the port number 1. So this is the MAC address of this. So this mapping is there. So we will see, this is the table, MAC address table is there. So each MAC address is basically mapped with a particular port number. Okay, the MAC address means this is device is having a MAC address. That's why this port is mapped with this port is mapped with the receiver. So receiver, in case of, suppose this is not BB 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 BB, like this is the MAC address of this one. Okay, this is the MAC address of this one. So this is connected to the port number 19 and this is connected to the port number 1. So this is port number 1 actually. So this is the scenario. Okay, now what next? So how we will create such type of LAN using a switch? So we have seen that I will just removing discarding this one. So how we will see this one? So what are the things you will be requiring? You will be requiring 3 N devices, or if you want more you can do also that. So 3 N devices. Okay, and apart from that you will be using one switch. So there are different specifications of switch that are available. So we are actually using 2960 simple switch to implement this one. Okay. Now when you are using this type of switch, one thing you must have a knowledge on the what is the physical view of this switch. Okay, so these are called the fast Ethernet ports, and there are, it's a 24 ports are there for the first Ethernet connection, and two ports are used mainly for gigabit Ethernet. Okay, so these two ports are used for the gigabits, that is much faster. Gigabit means the 10 to the power 9, in the order of 10 to the power 9, you can understand. So this is the gigabit Ethernet ports, and at the other 24 ports are the first Ethernet ports we will be. So this is a physical view of the switch. Now when you are using this one, using simple connection of 3 end devices using that switch, so what we are doing here, we will be using 2960. This is the switch we will be using. You can simply implement this one. So I am open this one. You can connect this end devices, and you can use that 2960 is the switch, 2960 24TT switch, and this is basically connected with, suppose, 2 or 3 end devices. So this is one end device, 3 end devices we are using. Okay, now in this connection, what from where we are observing the views, so if you just click on this, you can just put your cursor on this, you can find that what are the ports that it is having. So you can find first Ethernet 0 by 1, 0 by 2, 0 by 3, 0 by 4, all the up to first Ethernet 0 by 24. Okay, and each of the port is having one MAC address, and apart from that, and all the links are down because this is not working till now, these are down. So what, apart from that, what are the two things in the last row? You can see that the 2 gigabit Ethernet 0/1 and 0/2, these two things will also be there. Okay, and this is basically the conventional 24 port switch we are using here. So now to connect this one, we will be using again the connection of this automatically choose connection type. Now you can connect here with this, and definitely it will take some time. So if you use the fast forward time, it will automatically become green within a second, but but normally it takes some time to become green. Okay, so if we want to simulate it in a faster way, we will be using this one. Now you connect the other things, like you connect it with this, and the third PC with the switch. So if you connect, it will take some time to become orange to green, but if you use the fast forward time, within a few seconds it will become okay. Now this is very important. When I click on the where, so this PC is only fast Ethernet 0 is only, but it is connected to fast Ethernet 0/1, because in the switch how many ports are there? There are 24 first Ethernet ports. So if you click here, you can see that it is connected to the 0/1 first Ethernet port. If you click on here, it will be like 0/2 first Ethernet port of the switch it is connected, and it should be 0/3 first Ethernet port through which this wire is connected. Okay, now this is important in this connection, that what is inside the switch. Let's have a physical view of that one. If you click on this switch and you zoom in, you can find that what I was telling, there will be 24 ports of first Ethernet. Along with that, there will be 2 gigabit Ethernet ports that are available. Now the second thing is that you have to give some IP address, or you have to assign some IP address to individual PCs. Okay, so like we have done before. So let's give the IP addresses to all the PCs that are connected here. Okay, so if I want to write something, you can write it using the level. Okay, so we can find it here, 192.168.10 dot 10.1. Similarly, 192.168.10.3. okay, I can start with, because actually we do not use the 1. okay, we can start with 2. you can give 1, but I prefer not to give. Okay, that we use for the default gateway address if we use the router. So it is 192.168.10.4. okay. You can give escape, and if you have a thing like this, you can check it here, that in the simulation mode what can be done. Now if you do the simulation here, you can find that you can just simply use okay, we have not assigned the IP, right? So what is the IP? We have only leveled it, but I have not assigned. So we are not using the gateway because it is the layer 2 device. .3 here, and for the last one, go to desktop, go to IP configuration, 10.4. automatically the subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. okay, now previously that was not there, IP was not assigned, that's why we have got the error. Let's see, you take one PDU here and you connect here with this. Now it's successful. Now if you want to see from the this end, you can capture in the real time, not in the real time, this is a that is a simulation mode. You can do the first forward, okay, capture and forward, then it is only dedicated to PC1, okay, and then acknowledgement will come from this end to switch, back switch to PC0. so this is the way we can think that how, so it is correct, it's fine, and it's successful. Until and unless all the processes are going to happen, it will be like in progress, okay, or failed. Many of the cases we can see that the first thing is failed, okay, but it will happen generally after this, after the use of the router, okay, but it's okay, we will check for the second one. Now Now one thing, it is important, so this connection is going fine, and if you want to ping from the real time mode also, just go to command prompt and you can check ping from PC0. I am pinging PC1, so it is 192. The IP address of PC1 is 192.168.10.3, and let's see, you are getting the reply. So it's fine. So in the simulation mode and in the real time mode, both way it's happening. You can check from PC0 to PC2 and or PC2 to PC1, whatever you like. From any of the thing you can check as per your choice. Now in addition to that, I like to say one thing, that is let's go to the slide. You have seen the MAC address tables. Okay, so what do you mean by the MAC address table? You have seen in one side it is the MAC address, another mapping will be there with the port number. Okay, so this MAC address table, sometime it is called a content addressable memory or CAM table, which is used in the Ethernet switches. So we are using the Ethernet switches, and these are basically used here in the Ethernet switches to determine where to forward the traffic on a LAN. Okay, it is not broadcasting, it is basically unicasting. I am repeating once again. In case of switch, previously you have seen in case of hub, when the data packet was moving from one device to the hub, it was automatically sent to all other devices that are connected with the hub. But in case of this switch, it is only unicasted, sometime it is multicasted, so depending on the configuration it is going to happen. Okay, now in this case we can check here one thing. We can see the MAC address table from the actually from the CLI panel. Okay, so let's see here how it should look like. So go to the simulation mode again. So if I want, so this is the hub, so I am just having this one switch. Okay, so already I'm just sending, I'm deleting one, I'm just again sending. First send one PDU from 1 to suppose PC2, and suppose it is successful. Okay, now if I want to or use just send one PC0 to PC1, it is also successful, or you can check from PC1 to PC2, it is also successful. So it is happening all the cases. Now what I want to show you is, you go to the switch and go to the CLI mode. CLI mode is the thing. Now if you just enter here, automatically the switch command prompt will come up. Okay, it will show switch. So how to enable the switch? To enable the switch, we will be using en. If you want to enable the switch, so you can find, now it is switch hash. Okay, now what you have to do, you want to show, or I want to see what are the different MAC address and port address mapping. So that is given in the MAC address table. So for that, the command is show SHOW space MAC hyphen, okay, address ADDRESS hyphen table. So what is the command? Show, first we have enabled by using, first give enter and get the switch written here, then you write en, capital En, and give enter, you will be switch. And if you want to see the MAC address table, you write show MAC hyphen address hyphen table, and you will be getting this one. So let's see. So this is the MAC address table, you can see here. So this is the MAC addresses, okay, and this is the corresponding 3 ports. So this table will be shown here. So that's what I have given in this. At that point of time it was like this, because I have used another type of connection, and you can see how this will look like. Okay, So you have seen how to implement a switch, how to give the IP addresses, then how to take one PDU and how to just make it just capture and forward, and how to do the how the packets are moving in the simulation mode. You have seen that one, and the real time mode also you have seen. And if you want to see, you can use the ping command, you can also check that. And lastly, you have seen the MAC address. Okay, so MAC address table you have seen. Okay, now sorry, so MAC address table, and this is the MAC address table we have seen. Now the next topic is creation of multiple LAN. So if you want to create multiple LAN, suppose two networks are there, one LAN and second LAN, and I want to connect the two LAN using one single router. So the specification I have already given to you, and you can simply create a simple LAN using this. Okay, and then I create another LAN and you connect the two LAN via the router 2911. So how it will look like, it will basically look like this one. So I have used two switches, and along with that I have used one router 2900, and you can check here for each case this will be working as one LAN, this will be working as another LAN, and these are the IP addresses. So the LAN 1 and LAN 2 are having two different IP addresses, and you can check that how we are connecting this one. Okay, so let's do this work one by one. So these are the fundamental thing. First we will be using this one. So I'm just closing this panel, and I'm just experiment 3 I am writing. Just wait for some time. Okay, so desktop I am writing experiment 3 exp3. Okay, now I am creating another new workspace. There what I have to do, I have to use some switches and some end devices first, then I will be using the router. Okay, so when you are using some switches, you can use that 2911, because in the PPT itself we have seen it is 2911 is the router, 2960 is the switch, it's already written. So this is the switch. First we will consider 2960. So two switches I am just plotting here. Okay, and under one switch I am using three generic PCs. Okay, similarly I will be using another three set of PCs here. Okay, so let's connect them. So using the automatic connection, you can connect this one with this, connect this one with this. Connection is done. Similarly I'm writing here for LAN 1 I'm creating. IP address I will be giving later. Okay, and this is the LAN 2. I'm creating. Okay, give escape. Now again you connect this PC with this. Okay, Let's wait for few seconds. It will automatically become green. Or you can use the first forward and it will become green. Okay. Now after this, I am using one network device, like one router. So which router I will be using? 2911 is the router that we will be using here. Okay. Now before using the router, you can check here whether this portion is working fine and or this portion is fine. There is no connection in between. Give escape. So how can you check this one? Before that, I have to give some IP addresses to all these things. Suppose I am using another set of IP. I always use the type C. I can use the class type C instead of using class type A. I can use C. Class type A also we can use. I have used here. So you can check. It is as per your wish which type of class you want to use. So for this case, suppose I will be using class A. So let's click here 10.0.0.2. okay, this is the IP of this PC0. This is 255.0.0.0. so this is the subnet mask of class A. Okay, I am closing this. Similarly, go to desktop IP. This is 10 dot, one second, I can copy and I can paste here. So what is the IP of this one? Okay, I will be just copying this one. This will be 3. Okay, MAC address, sorry, subnet mask is this. Desktop IP, this will be 4. Okay, this is done. Similarly, this is a class A IP. You can label it as here like 10.0.0.2. you can check here 10.0.0.3, here 10.0.0.4. okay, give escape. Similarly, this is as for LAN 2. For LAN 2, you can go to desktop, you can use the connection, that is the IP. So another type I can give here I can give here. So what can we give? Let's see, maybe we can use 192.168.0.2 is a class C. okay, so that's why 255 3 times is there. Similarly, 192.168.0.3. Similarly, 192.168.0.4. So what we have done till now, I have placed this LAN, I have placed another LAN. I am just giving the IP address. So leveling is pending here. So 192.168.0.2, 192.168.0.3, and this is 192.168.0.4. So you can check whether it is done or not, this portion is working fine or not, that also at least you can check. So because there is no connectivity in between these two until and unless you are using a router. So let's take PC0 and you just go to the desktop mode and you use command prompt. Just for checking you can use ping which IP I want to from PC0 to PC1, whether the connectivity is correct or not, because when I am making one big network I must be sure that there should not be any fault in between. Okay, so I am pinging the destination PC1. Yes, it's replying, means this is correct. Similarly, if I from PC3 for verifying, if I want to ping PC4, you can check ping, this is 192.168.0.3. so it is replies. So this, there is no issues in this part. Okay, this portion is fine. Now next phase, to connect this two portion you need to use one router, and which router I will be using, 2911 router I will be using here. So what we are doing here, we need to connect this two. So how will we connect? See one thing, I will be using the connection here. Okay, you connect this portion with this, and again you connect this portion with this. The problem in router is that when you have used hub or switch, if you use the first forward time, it will automatically become green. In the last class I used some command in the CLI to configure the router. Okay, but today instead of writing all the commands, what is the shortcut method to configure the router? Let's see the thing one by one. Now when you are doing with this, let's see one thing. What is the router? This is the back side of the router. Okay, this is the router, the physical view of the router. Okay, and we can go to the CLI and or we can go to config and we can see one by one. Now see the numbering or the port numbering, that is very important. If you click on the where, this is in the router, how many ports they have used. Actually 2 ports are used, 3 ports are there, 0/0, 0/1 and 0/2. Now 2 ports will be used here. Okay, so 2 ports means this port is what? This is 0/0 and this port is basically 0/1. So I will check here. Go to 0/0. Okay, and what is the IP address of this one? I will be assigning. Okay, so that's why I have not used the default gateway concept. So what is the IP? 10.0.0.1 is basically the default gateway. Gateway means from this LAN to this LAN, when the data will be passed through this gateway. So what is the IP of this? I will be assigning as 10.0.0.1. subnet mask will be automatically taken like this. So I'm assigning this one, and do not forget to make this on. Okay, now you can see the status of this gigabit Ethernet 0/. So this is now, see, it's automatically green now. Previously it was red. Now the gigabit Ethernet 0/0, the state has been changed to up. Okay, so what I am giving here, the IP address of this is the default gateway address. Okay, so this is the starting address will be 1, so I am giving this one, and you see all the color of this connection is perfect, so it's all green now. Okay, similarly this is the second thing, 0/1. This needs to be done through the same way. So again I will go to the router, which port 0/1 I will go. And what is the IP address of this? This portion is using class C IP. So this will be 192.168.0.1. okay, so 192.168.0.1 I am assigning here. So it will take the subnet mask of class C, that is 255.255.255.0. okay, so it will be like that. So these two networks are using two classes. This is class A basically, and this is class C, and I am keeping this one as on. So once you are keeping this one on, you need not to go to CLI and write all the set of codes like we used in the last class. And definitely you can see the another Ethernet, gigabit Ethernet 0/1. Previously it was 0/0. Now gigabit Ethernet 0/1. The state has been changed to up. Previously the state was down, and now if you click here, you can just I'm just crossing this one. If you just click here, you can see here that the first 2 gigabit Ethernet 0/0, the link status is now up, and the gigabit Ethernet 0/1, the link status is also up. Now another LAN also you can create like that. Maybe it is using class B and you are just connecting that one with the same router, and you can create 3 type of connection there. So so this is the thing. Now the thing is that the problem you will be facing when you will be sending the packet, it will not pass. It will pass, suppose you are sending the packet from PC0 to router, it is fine, there is no issue. But when you are sending PC0 to PC3, the default gateway is not mentioned here. Let's check the faulty position, then we will implement. Suppose we are sending PC0 to PC1. okay, so if you do the fast forward, then fast forward, okay, then the reply will be from PC1 and back to PC0. It's all successful. There is no problem in that. But when we are deleting the scene, so when we are using the suppose one PDU from PC0 to PC3, okay, so it will face some issues. Why? Because it will pass through this router, and here the default gateway is not mentioned. So it will go like this, okay, so failed. You can see it is failed. It is not going to send because the default gateway portion is not mentioned. That I wanted to focus. So let's see. So I'm just closing this one. So what is the thing we missed out? Because it is router, so we have to mention the default gateway. So what is the default gateway? This is the default gateway of this port. You can copy, just 1 second, it will be 0.1. okay, so for sake of mentioning this one, I can, so for all the PCs you have to find the default gateway, you have to make it 1. I'm copying this, okay. So for all this LAN, the default gateway will be, because you can see here for 0 the default gateway is this one, okay, and for this LAN the default gateway will be 192.168.0.1. I'm closing this one. Similarly for this, Okay, so for this LAN all the default gateway I have set to, I am just writing this one for this case, the LAN one. Okay, okay, so this is the thing. I can write it here also for these two scenarios. So the value I'm writing as the default gateway value 10.0.0.1 is the value for this. Okay, and definitely the IP subnet mask, and for this one the default gateway will be 192.168.0.1. Okay, I'm writing for sake of remembering because it's difficult, so I hope there will not be any issue. So you can check in the real time mode. You can ping from PC0 to PC3. Let's see from in the simulation mode first. So you can take one PDU and you can just PC0 to PC3. It will be first switch, then router, okay, in progress it is showing. First packet I used to tell you that sometime it creates problem. Let's see. Successful, okay, that is third packet from PC0 to PC3. You can just check here, this last one, PC0 to PC3. Okay, I can delete and I can check once. PC2 to PC5 failed, successful. Many times we fail, but due to the non-cohesion of the system. Okay, so more or less, if the first time does not happen, you try for the second time. If the configuration is correct, the packet will be passing from LAN 1 to LAN 2. There will not be any issue here. Okay, so this is the way we can create multiple LAN and we can connect through the router. So remember two things. So when you are connecting the router, you will go to the router, you check the gigabit Ethernet, which two ports, and then you have to give the IP and subnet mask and keep it on. That is the first thing. Second, for every PC you have to check not only the IP and the subnet as well as default gateway value, which you have given here. This will be applicable for this set of PC, and which you have given here, this will be applicable for this set of PC. So you have to take care of that, then only this configuration is. And the second option, you have to go to the CLI mode and you have to write the set of command to get it done. Okay, so this is the way we can implement the single thing. Okay, so this is the one. So let's go to the presentation. So in the presentation, that also the thing I have discussed. So I have placed the devices in the workspace and I have assigned the IP addresses to all the PCs in the LAN. Like, you can give this or that, whatever you like. I have given this set of IPs, so I have used this one. If you want to change to class B or something else, you can also change that one. Okay. And next thing is that when you are using this one, you have to set the value of the default gateway. That is very important. So this portion is very important. So when you are configuring the router, the setting of the default gateway, how to set the default gateway for each of the devices, and then you go to the config and go to that particular Ethernet gigabit 0 by 0 and you assign this set of value and turn it on. This is the thing that is important, and then it will become from orange to green and the router is set. Okay, and you can see all the cases these are the successful, whether it is PC02 router, that is PC02 router, okay, or it is PC0 to PC3, that is PC0 to PC3, that is full from LAN 1 to LAN 2 it has communicated. So all the cases you can see here that you can simply make a network out of this. Okay, now next thing is that if I go to the presentation, you need to create a simple WAN, okay, so that is the wide area network. So this is a big problem, so I will not complete this portion, so next day we will be doing this portion. So what I have taken, that we have used a set of single network, so this is wide area network we have used, and we have used basically two switches, these two portions. So these two routers we have used, and we have changed the specification a bit. Okay, so what are the specification we have used here? We just go through this and you can check here that there are lots of types of switches that are available. So instead of using 2960 you can use 2950 or instead of 2911 router you can use 2811 router also. So you can simply use that one and you can configure. So first is to place the devices, and you have placed, instead of you can use multiple end devices, but the problem is that when you are using multiple devices the more IPs you need to give and all these things. So this is the one LAN and this is another LAN, and two routers we have used. Previously we have used only a single router, but we have used two. So this, the complication will be starting here when we will I will not complete this one because you need to submit all the assignments today. I will rigorously check the assignment today, and because the packet tracer is the second class and you people are not habituated with this, so this is very important as far as the exam is concerned. So the placing part is this, and then you need to assign the IP to all the PCs and you have to level. So I have assigned the IPs internally and the leveling is done. So I have taken this portion here, or you can change it to class C also. Later I have changed to class C, so no issues. If you want to change you can do that. Now few steps are there, how will you configure? I will come to those portions later, but I will be showing you how it looks like in this class. Okay, let's just check here. I have already done this portion. Okay, so this is the connection you can we have done. So lots of steps are there. I am not showing you what are the steps there, but this is the initial configuration. And instead of class A, I also used class C, and the default gateway values are there. Those are used into routers, and all the things are green here, so you can find that there is no issues while you are sending the packets. Okay, so you can just for sake of testing, you can check whether I'm just deleting this one, and you can check whether it is coming from PC0 to PC1, it is successful. PC0 to a router, it is also successful. Next, PC2 to suppose PC3, it is showing in progress. Next, check PC2 to PC3, then success. So many times we will observe the first packet used to don't go to the proper destination. Okay, so we will be sending that. In that case, if you see that it is going to fail, you send the packet second time. Okay, that I have done here. Okay, and if you want to verify from this is the thing we are using. So if you want to verify from the from this end, like if you want to ping here from the desktop mode, go to the command prompt. What is the IP address of this 10.2, and this is the only change is a third octet. You can check it is all the things are 192.160.10.2 or 10.3 or 10.4, whereas it is 20.2 or 20.3 or 20.4. okay, so you can ping this one PC0 to PC3. so I am pinging from PC0, so I will write ping, and destination address of this PC3 is 192.168.20.2, and let's check it's communicating or not. Okay, it's communicating. So this is the WAN type of connection also. You can see it's so it failed, but you see later on it is successful. Okay, so sometimes it is going to show you some error, but ultimately it is not. If you try for the second time, it will be successful in that case. Okay, so in today's class, what you have learned from starting from the scratches, how to level the different IP addresses that you have seen. You have seen the real-time mode and the simulation mode. Both the modes you have seen. This is a simulation, and if you click here, this is the real-time mode. How the packet PDUs are moving from the capture and forward, you have seen how it is moving from one end to another end. That also you have seen. Okay, so the next class, this process I am going to tell. So I am giving you some time so that you can simulate all the experiments, not the WAN portion, before the 4 experiments as well as the previous day's experiment. You have half an hour of time, so you can check that one, and you can easily do that one. And I can open the okay, I can like you can see here the file is there. You can submit that one. Okay, and next day I will be continuing with the configuration of WAN. Okay, so thank you all. Please submit your assignments, which is very important for today's class. Okay, so thank you all. If you have any query, you can just text me. In meanwhile, having the snapshot, I will be answering your query. Okay, thank you.